I told y'all, man. Yo, if this is your first time on my channel, this is Corner Watch. We watching the world turn while trying to earn. I told y'all, man. I told you about these motherfucking gaps. I told you on my last video. Gap number 6 was formed today. If you want to know about the other 5 gaps, they're in my last video. I'll get into detail where they're at and all that. But man, I just couldn't believe how this worked out for me today, man. But anyway, let's get into the trade real quick. I don't want to take too much of your time. So the day started for me anyway at 7:30. At pre-market, I already saw GameStop was like at 168. So I knew it gapped down. I don't know why. I didn't really care. I told you guys I was gonna take a day trade with GameStop with less than $100, and that's exactly what the fuck I did. So the first doji that I was greeted with, because that's what this pretty much is, was this bar over here. And it was I was conflicted with it, I'm not gonna lie, because it was just so even, man. It was like there's sellers here, there's buyers here, and it seems like the sellers are overtaking it. So I wasn't sure that this was gonna start gapping up right now. So what I did do was I put like an alert right here at the top of this bar. The reason I put an alert because I was at work, so I really couldn't guarantee that I would stay watching. So, but I did want it to trigger to let me know that it's on the way up. So I put an alert here, and I wanted to see where the next bar was going to be. And then I saw this bar, and I was like, okay, seems like there's more downside. And when you look at the RSI, this shit was oversold, man. Look at this level down here. Like I knew at some point there was going to be a reversal, just because of how deep this was going. However, where the reversal was going to be, I don't know, man. So I moved my alert from this bar to the top of this bar. You wouldn't be wrong if you did it at the end of the first bar, but I was a little conservative and I put it over here and I was waiting. Then I saw this fucking bar, man. It triggered my stop right here at 171. At 171, I took a call debit spread 190 and 192.5. It was the cheapest debit spread I could find under $100 at the time. I got in for 90 bucks. And then I went to Mommy Miles and I alerted her, 174. This shit, if this shit crosses 174, it was gonna hit. So hopefully she got in on this move. But I alerted it. It's timestamped. You can check it out. Anyway, so I put my stop loss right here at the top of this bar. In case I was wrong, like this is a false breakout, I'd at least be able to close my position without too much of a heavy hit. So I was watching. And I saw this bar. I was like, okay. And inside, bull bar is not a bad sign. All right. I just don't like this tail at the top letting me know there's some sellers here. But all right, let's see what happens next. It didn't trigger my stop. So we keep watching. Then I saw this. I was like, wow, all right, there's some really heavy buying here. There's heavy buying. So this gave me a little confidence to move my stop from the top of this bar to the top of this bar, the top of this bar right here. And I just kept on watching. I didn't like that bar at all. I was like, okay, maybe it's reversing. And I wouldn't blame people exiting because I see the sellers here and now there's a bear bar. But my rule is if it didn't hit my stop, I'm in the trade, man. I'm in the fucking trade. I'm like, okay. All right, the Bulls are fighting back with a vengeance. All right, the sellers seem like they won this round. And then I see this bar, and I'm like, okay, at this bar, I take notice of this whole thing right here. And I guess you could draw a triangle because you have the lower highs and the higher lows. So there's a squeeze about to happen. So that's exactly what I do. I draw that shit because I'm like, all right, it's kind of obvious at this point. Like there's like something about to happen. So I'm watching. Okay, nice. This bar got me really excited. The fact that there was way more buyers here, and there was definitely some selling pressure at the top. But I loved it how long this tail was in relation to the selling. Boom, broke through. It popped. It's kind of like you take a juice box and you squeeze it, and you don't know if the top is gonna break or the bottom is gonna break. But in this case, the top broke, and I was like, yes. And I was like, yo, is this really gonna fill the fucking the gap in so short a time? Because I told you about the other 5 gaps that it normally takes about 2 days to fill, and this is about to happen in a few hours. Get the fuck out of here! But I was watching, man. I was glued to the screen. Didn't give a fuck if my boss was calling me. I had to see where this was gonna end up. Okay, saw that. All right, I'm getting excited. I'm not pulling out yet. Oh, at this point, I did move up my stop to the top of this long bar right here. This is where I moved my stop. So I'm trailing this whole momentum, trailing it. Okay, the Bears is definitely losing on this one. This bar got me excited too because of the buying pressure over here. Look at that. That's a hammer. Very bullish sign. And I guess people agreed because they started buying right here. And I was like, oh shit, this is going to hit. This is going to hit. It hit right here at this bar. It fucking filled the gap in less than 2 hours. I couldn't believe it. But you know something, I didn't exit here. I didn't exit because I saw that these higher lows and this buying pressure at the bottom here, I knew was gonna push it up. So I just moved my stop here to 183. I'm trailing it. Yup, it broke through. This was one hell of a fucking green bar. I was like, yeah. So at this point, with a bar like this solid buying, I put my stop right here at 187. Okay. I guess this was the buying climax over here. You see this long tail right here. So I moved my stop to the top of this bar, and honestly, I wish I would have sold over here, but I moved it up here. And then I started seeing the turn. So I exited at the bottom of this tail here with this bar. As soon as I saw this trigger here, this thing happen, I was like, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. So I exited at about 191. So basically, what I did was I invested $90 and I made 120. Well, $30 difference. So there's money to be made here because I was looking at the naked calls themselves, man, and I saw a call at 175. If I would have taken that call when I did my call debit spread, it was $1,200 at the time. It would have been I would have been able to sell it for like $2,500, man. I could have made over $1,000 in 2 hours. But I told y'all I was gonna do it with $100. And honestly, I just didn't know it was gonna work out this well because of seeing all the other gaps in the history that it was gonna take about 2 days to fill. I just never would have thought it was gonna be in about 2 hours. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the video. If you did take the trade, I'm curious to know how you executed it, what play you did. Leave a comment if you like it, and if you have any questions, just leave it at the bottom. Mommy Miles, I hope you took the trade when I alerted you. And to everybody else, man, teach one, each one, right? Take care.